This video is for you if you're feeling stuck. If you're feeling stuck where you are, you're not moving fast enough, you are feeling really frustrated because you're not where you want to be and you thought you should have been further along by now. And maybe you even feel this sense of unfairness, like, how come everyone else is so far along compared to me? Like, I'm not doing enough. This video is for you if you feel like you're not doing enough. It's an understandable place to be. You know, we've all been there. We all come back to this place sometimes. And what's really important to recognize here, in my experience, is that you're being really hard on yourself right now. When you're pushing yourself and forcing yourself to make progress that isn't ready to happen yet, and the reason why it's not ready to happen yet is because it hasn't happened yet. When you're forcing yourself to be somewhere you're not ready to be, that's really harsh. It's cruel. You know, it's like, if you think about these processes like nature, because as a human being, you are part of nature. If you think of a butterfly in a cocoon, if you open the cocoon before the butterfly has come out yet, like that's like violence, right? Or like if you have a rosebud and if you just allow it to take its natural course of time to bloom, then you have a beautiful rose. But if you're impatient and you just try to like force the bud open, it's pretty gnarly, you know? Like it's violent, it's unkind, and you're not being kind to yourself when you are in a place of like, I need to be somewhere else where I'm not right now. And not to say that it's not understandable that we return to these places sometimes where we feel like we should be further along, like, why hasn't it happened yet? Like, suffering, they're so normal too, they're so human. And so the point is not to beat yourself up even further for embodying this kind of energy, but rather tapping into a sense of compassion and opening to why you're feeling this way, you know, tapping into some compassionate curiosity, like, why might I be feeling this way? What am I not getting that I'm needing while I'm in this place? What is the reason why I am feeling this way? And just kind of getting curious, right? You know, like all of this resistance to what currently is. For example, for a long time, you know, like in this process of becoming who I came here to be, which is somebody who embodies the frequency of love and compassion and shares that with others, I had a really hard time reconciling that with not being able to make money at the pace that I wanted to make it, because my parents had certain expectations of me based on like how much money that they invested in like my education and all that. And so I had all of these beliefs in my head around needing to be making a certain amount of money that I wasn't making, because I wanted to follow this path that was not the conventional, straight and narrow, societally, parentally acceptable path. And I wanted to do something completely different, which is become a small business owner, an entrepreneur, and a healer, a creative, and be myself for a living. Like, that really caused so much clashing and internal conflict. And I feel like it took me a long time. It took me the time that it needed to take. in the natural process of things, in the natural process of expansion. Oh, I want to be who I am for a living, and contraction. Oh, but I'm not making any money. Like, my parents are saying all these cruel things to me, and like the voice in my head is saying all these cruel things to me. And expansion, I made some money, yay! Contraction, but it's not enough. Expansion, and so on and so forth. You know, it's like everything is happening as it should be in a divine order that is honestly beyond human comprehension. And if you just tap into that frequency of trusting that you are exactly where you need to be, you are being so guided and supported in any given moment. You're never alone. Your spirit team is always helping you out and looking out for you and giving you the experiences that you need to receive in order to get to the places that you are meant to go in this life, in your soul's journey in this life, you know? And just like grounding into these reminders that kind of really allow you to ease off the tension and the gripping and the resisting of how things are, really just make it a lot easier and more fun and fluid in your way on your way, because there is no end point, you know? We're just continuing